So good evening,
All right.
guys.
Hey
I
there,
think we should,
traveler.
yeah, I think we should make a little bit of an announcement, I guess, for the people who will watch this on
YouTube.
YouTube,
Yeah,
right?
Mhm.
Like this will, I guess, this is an official, semi unofficial announcement of a new podcast that will be
after
hopefully
many years.
be a regular, I guess, a regular event, I guess. Of I don't know how much we'll do this, but yeah, hopefully it'll be a regular thing. So if you're watching
Yeah,
on YouTube,
Yeah.
um,
And if
you can also suggest in our Discord what
comment
you guys
section,
want to. Yeah,
what you
I
guys
guess
want
that's
to
it.
hear us talk about. Yeah. And
Hmm.
if you're listening to the audio only, you might be wondering, where's that lady's voice? Why is there another dude's voice?
it's
I'm
the
not Kabuki Cat.
Bungisngis. Yeah, maybe we can
Yeah,
introduce again
Mhm.
ourselves, especially
oh, yeah, we
Oh
for
yeah,
should.
yeah, yeah.
our new. Actually, Bungisngis is not new anymore because it's been hosting our interviews, many interviews already.
If you
So
haven't seen it
No,
yet,
that's
check
true.
it out on YouTube.
yeah,
Yeah. So
the
I
one
can
and
start us off.
only. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, since I'm the host, the one and only host so far. So hello and welcome to season 4 of the Brushpoint podcast.
Season 4.
And then uh,
Let's
and
go.
then
The
now the
unofficial
new
official
host.
season.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But let's make it official right now. So am I exactly the host or I'm just another guy here with you guys?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Now
You'll
you're
be
now
whoever
the
you want to
host.
be.
Right, you heard it from the head honchos. I'm now the head host. You can call me Bungisngis, call me Justin if you're nasty. And I'm joined by my lovely cohorts, Mr. DJ Lumpia and Mr.
Hello.
Song Vanessa. Hello. Brief introduction. I work in casual games. Mr. Lumpia, how about you?
I'm an illustrator and
I've been
instructor
laid off.
also, and I've been laid off. For later. Let's talk about it later.
Okay.
So
And
the
then how
members
about you,
already know
Red?
that.
Hi, I am a visual artist, but now I'm currently working for games, I guess. Wow, right? Amazing.
Yeah.
Same
Casual
industry as
gamers.
me.
Yeah,
Casual game.
pretty much the same.
Casual gamers.
You can call
Yeah.
that casual games.
Very casual. Very, very casual. And in relation to that, our topic for today, for tonight, is there still money in art? So before we get things started, we gotta establish our topic and until where do we talk about? Because this topic is really tied to a lot of other things. And if we're not careful, we're gonna digress into other topics. So let's first define what is money in art, Mr. Lumpia.
What is money in art? So let's simplify
Yeah.
it and let's be more specific. And by the way, I also don't want to become like a Wikipedia recording here. So, guys, this is just a casual talk. And in case if you have questions, we will have a few minutes to answer questions later. So, thank you.
After the question.
Yeah, thank you, Bungisngis, for starting our podcast here about making money in art. Or again, is there still money in art?
It's
But
the
to be
money in art.
specific,
Yeah.
we're talking about here not of course not just having literally money while doing art, but we're what exactly talking about is the opportunities. So having job in the industry. So there are many ways to have money in art, and we will not talk about you know each uh
Yeah,
way to how to have money in art.
it's
So
too
in
much.
short, we will not talk about, like, for example, like fine
How to
arts
get a job.
auction,
Yeah.
because you can make money with that. But we're going to talk about opportunities, job opportunities. So in short, um, I believe many members here or many artists, when they say, how is there still money in art, they're talking about, is there still jobs that I can get in art? That's it, right? So if you have
Yeah.
other definition, guys, or our audience here, So we just started. That's our definition for this specific podcast. So yeah.
Okay, but long story short, or TLDR, is there still money in
Well,
like
You can
hard
actually just
facts?
end it
three of us
with a
here,
with a one word.
three so far, three, three of us have actually jobs right now. So the short answer, and we
Yeah.
can end this podcast right here. There is.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah. There
that's
is.
the easy
Okay.
answer. But the question is,
Yeah.
what about the others, right? Because
There.
I think
Then
I think it's convenient for us to say that there's still money in art since we have
yeah.
jobs right now.
Jobs. Yeah.
So,
All right.
where
So
do you want
you know,
us to start? Like,
go next. Okay. No, I just wanted to get that out of the way because again, we want to end that old belief that there's no money in art. You know how our Asian parents would say that because currently we are earning from art. Okay. But
Yeah.
the hard thing to get right now is a job in art. Okay. So let's tackle that. Like, what are the concerns of people, artists, of getting money in art? So, right now, or getting opportunities in art right now, just to get that out of the way. Number one is always, at the moment, AI. Second, another factor could be the layoffs or the company's business strategy. So, fortunately, um, they think differently and they have to make some judgment calls. There are other factors like restructuring, if there's a new shareholder. So, a lot of big invisible hands in the economy. Number three, robots started taking the entry level jobs. You know, so again, we don't know to what extent exactly, but there's that. And then number four, the art world has a cycle. So that's another factor you got to consider at the moment. If you're having a hard time getting a job in art, we seem to be at like the trough of a wave of sorts. So I see this as waves. You can see it as cycles. Um,
Yeah.
we're at the bottom half of this cycle for some reason because the robots are starting to become aware. So if
Are
you,
we? Are we at the bottom half? I feel like we are at the beginning of it as
oh,
everyone
really?
is
Well,
just experiencing. I feel like
yeah, I
it,
think so
or
too.
at just about the start of it. Not, or I
man,
wouldn't say middle, but like just a bit earlier than being at the end of it. Because I feel like a lot of people now have been complaining, and the layoffs, and with as you mentioned, AI is just being smarter and smarter now, I guess, in a way.
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's his time to take over some jobs and all that. So yeah.
We'll see. Or it can be a tool eventually. I hope once they get the legal stuff out of the
Yeah.
way, if
It's
it
just a
becomes
tool.
ethical.
You just have to know how to use
Uh,
it, right?
Yeah, sure.
yeah. If it was more
Sure.
ethical, hopefully. Yeah.
Mm.
So
I mean, we can also bring into perspective how the traditional artists saw digital art, and then how digital artists saw photo bashing, and then how other artists saw 3D stuff. So I don't know, but life goes on, and we gotta do our best to keep up with the times. So there's those. Now, uh, oh, but before we end that point, we'd like to put this quote by John Lasseter of Pixar. He said that art challenges technology and technology inspires art. So hopefully we see more of that, given with like the four things I stated earlier. So just if if you want to be positive about it, just focus on getting better with your art, because hopefully we come out on top again after the cycle. Hopefully, because like what Red said, it's going to be a long cycle before we get back to that
Yeah.
other
And
end.
yeah, and that's why we, I guess, call it a cycle, since
Mm,
we've experienced that before with what you mentioned, digital art and traditional art. That it has been a long discussion of what is better, digital art. Digital art is much easier than. It's been a long discussion before,
debate,
and now we're
discussion,
going with
yeah.
a different technology, with AI and all that. So, and I've actually talked with artists, and even I guess they're, you can call them relevant in this topic, like, but gallery owners,
Mm.
of how uh, this economy and how art works. Like, it's always been a cycle where there's a recession of people buying art, people admiring art, people like wanting to see different types of art. Like, it has always been a problem before. Like, like, I've talked to senior artists, and they've said that, oh, we've experienced this before, like, having a harder time selling our art. But look at us now, we're just still doing it now because we've been, it gets better. Like, that's about it. Yeah.
Can't believe it gets better.
Yeah.
And God believe. But with that,
Gotta believe
this
indeed.
alarm, and then we have that ominous sign of someone's car alarm going off. Okay. Okay, now that
I
we've
guess it
set the
doesn't.
parameters, we'll see. It's left to be seen. Now that we've set the parameters and we've gotten those established out of the way, let's head on and ask the question: is it still worth to be an artist in today's day and age, given like what we just said a few minutes ago? Because yes, there is still money in art, but it's
Yeah.
a bit harder. No, it's not just a bit harder, it's way harder to get a job at the moment because there are a lot of layoffs, a lot of freeze hirings,
Mm-hmm.
and then some entry level or junior level positions are being declared obsolete because we have AI. So is it still worth it to be an artist? We're gonna try to hit as we're gonna hit wide with this, okay? We're gonna swing wide with this. So let's put some situationers. Uh, Maybe you're asking this question because you're in a situation where your family isn't supportive of your artistic endeavor. Maybe you come from a family that
There are
has
those kinds of
a
families, really?
business, a family business. Oh, yeah, I've heard about some of them recent, some Discord
Well,
servers.
many
So
many
maybe
artists. Yeah.
yeah, some people come from families with family businesses. And then maybe your grandparents aren't supportive because they want you to be part of the family business. So they won't they won't help push you to be better as an artist. Maybe they might do the opposite. They'll find ways to distract you from practicing art. To be one. Two, uh, your parents might want you to pursue a different path. Uh, or three, maybe you gotta check yourself because your art isn't where it's supposed to be yet. Like your portfolio is still raw. Maybe you're in that position right now, but you're seeing other people progress. You're getting older, so maybe you're in that weird limbo position where you feel like you're behind, but you want to get better, but you can't seem to get a job at the moment because you need to earn money. So you gotta get your priorities checked. So there are those scenarios that you can be in right now. So, where should we start? I think let's start with the important ones first. Regardless of your position in life at the moment, right? When you ask if it's
Mm-hmm.
still worth it to be an artist, you gotta check yourself first. I think that's number one. Get the reality check. What's your priority at the moment? Is your priority to get a job because your family's not gonna have anything to eat by the end of the week? Or maybe you have debt, or maybe you have bills to pay, maybe someone's in the hospital. Whatever the reason is, you gotta check your priorities. Okay. And then immediately after that, decide for yourself short term and long term goals. What do you hope to get out of this career if you want to get into art, right? So those are the two points. That no bullshit, like straight to the point. Check yourself. What's your priority? Number two, decide short term and long term goals. Okay. So let's start with point number one. Uh,
I have a
People
question.
Okay.
should,
I have a
yeah. Oh,
question
sorry. Go on.
to make this
Okay, go on.
spicy. And by the way, this is
Oh,
not
okay. Oh,
we didn't plan this, guys. I have this on the
yeah.
spot
Literally, I
question.
didn't know. I was about to say something.
Okay,
Okay,
so get
go.
get get ready, guys. Both of you. So if on Monday we lose our jobs, are you gonna continue doing art?
Ooh.
Okay.
Like so,
On Monday.
just to really, to really make sure that, uh, of course, we know that there's still money in art. But what if,
Yeah.
the three of us here, we lose our jobs on Monday? What are you gonna do, guys?
Okay. Okay, who
I,
starts?
I would
Red?
love to answer this. I think.
I
Yeah.
mean, I think I
Go.
should know
I
the
have.
last because I already,
Yeah.
You thought about
y-
this.
yeah,
Yeah, it's your question. But I think I'm excited to answer this because, like in my experience, I have not made a lot of money in art. Like, I've been a visual artist for what 7, 8 years, and I have not had a stable income in art at all.
mm.
Like, this is the first month I've actually had like a salary in making art. So
Yay,
like if I
congrats.
lose it again, like it would be sad, but I've been through it for 7 years, man, like almost 8. So I will continue doing art, whatever
Okay.
happens. I think me and my girlfriend have been talking about art too, like how, like what happens in the future, would you still paint or whatever, and the answer is always yes. I think it's an addiction, I guess, in art, like, and also a passion, like,
Yeah.
of just doing it for art's sake. Like, I've been thinking of going back into visual arts as soon as I had this job, with a mindset of just thinking of the art side instead of making money out of it. So like I wish I can make art just for art's sake and not for it to sell. I want
Yeah,
to have that
same.
freedom. So
Mm.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
So wait, just to
right.
clarify, you're gonna continue it as a career. Am I right? Did I understand it right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I'll continue it as a career, not as a hobby. Just I don't know.
But
Like
just,
I don't
putting the mind
really.
like on the creating art, not the selling it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a lot of people's advice is always just keep on creating art, especially in my line of work. Like just keep on creating, just do art. Like especially for starting artists who uh have not earned or sold a single painting. What we always say is just keep on painting, just keep on doing your art, and just do what you want to do with
Hmm.
your art. Like don't let the market dictate your art. But again, that's the visual fine art side.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
of
I
course,
understand.
in the game art industry, it's totally different. You have to follow the market.
There are
But yeah,
strategies, specific portfolio style and everything.
Uh-huh.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay. Great answer by Mr. Salongalis. Okay, so
I
Pretty
I'm
sure you
passed.
guys
actually
can
curious.
email
I'm
on
actually
this.
curious. What's Bungisngis' question? I mean
Yeah,
answer.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Let's see. Let's
I'm
see.
gonna practice. I'm gonna put into practice what we were gonna discuss. Because that's how
Yeah.
like JS taught me how to think, because he mentored me about this. So number one, I check my priority first. So if I were to lose my job on Monday, I'd take into account first my savings, like emergency funds that I've had set up. Right now, I know at the moment I can last for 6 months, like for rent and stuff, because I'm renting right now. So I get my priority first, which is establishing my EF, and then if I can survive. For how long can I survive there? Then once I have that timeline, I'm gonna go full force into, yes, I'm gonna double down on doing art, which is getting better and increasing my hireability. Right now, I just finished how to animate and spine.
Hmm.
So again, the short answer is yes, I'm continuing art to an extent. Now, if by like month 4, I have a low tolerance, even though I said I can last 6 to 8 months. If by month 4 I don't get a new job, I'm gonna have to start considering other opportunities. I might have to sell like my guitar pedals or something like that, just to continue art, steps and
Yeah.
padding. But if I still can't find a job in art, I have to be realistic. So I might have to shift into like some placeholder job at the moment just to earn. So those are my immediate concerns. Now, those are short term goals. Long term, yes, I still plan to. continue a career in art. But short term is to survive. And if I can find my footing short term, I'll still continue working on art. Yeah,
Hmm.
the short answer, yes. There
That's
we
a
go.
very
Strategic.
measured answer. Good
I have
job.
a very low tolerance
Yeah,
not very
for the risk.
artist of
you
you.
learned
No.
something in Brushpoint. Congratulations. So, uh, if in I think I just want to acknowledge some things. Like for example, in the industry, we know that it's a cycle, right? We said it, and we guys, we research a lot of things before doing this podcast, by the way. And we know it's a cycle. We know that it's not a permanent thing, but it's actually hard to say right now because it may be a cycle, but it may be a different version of the industry next time, and we should be ready. So I sometimes I'm just thinking that are we actually ready, or the next generation of artists, let's say some artists who's studying art right now in different colleges, regardless of if it's a university or just self study. But is there really a future? And if there is, what kind of future are we can we expect? And of course, we will not answer that tonight because it's impossible to answer. We're not, we don't predict things. We we just acknowledge the actual things that's happening right now. And maybe I just want to answer my own question too. Um, what did I do? So, like for example, me,
What would you do?
I this is my actually answer. This everyday life, I got laid off, January this year, and I actually
Mhm.
sent Bungisngis and Red uh, a link where you can get an updated, what do you call that, like updated, I don't know,
List.
like news or links, where you can see the most updated layoffs in the game industry. And it's not a secret thing. It's not a secret thing. We all
Yeah.
know that. But despite that, how can you see a future in the industry given that, what if you say, like for example, you have 6 months uh, of emergency funds, right? But what if this will happen for 6 years? So there's a lot of
Mhm.
things that we should think about. I and I will not give any solutions. I just want to acknowledge that because uh, on the other hand, sometimes once you got a job, you know, you just like what I said to Bungiskis and Asalonganisa also when we were talking this, like what I call that, like some personal casual talk,
Yeah.
between the three of us. Sometimes you just have to get that one job, and you will see that there's actually jobs in the industry because
Yeah.
like right now,
That's
for example, the three of us have jobs. So I'm doing freelance right now. I'm not actually applying. Like I don't apply anymore. I'm just waiting. But at the same time, if you will ask me January 2025, I will tell you I don't know what will happen. I've been working in Moon Active for 4 years, and I don't know what to do next because it's like 4 years. I have this confidence that I will have a salary next month. No, you can plan the whole year, but suddenly boom. So you know that's the reality, guys. But I'm not. So this two guys too quiet. I'm not sad. I'm actually
we're
happy
giving
right
it time to
now.
speak.
You know, yeah, I'm actually happy right now. But I just want to let the audience also hear our perspective because we give this advice, but you guys should know also that this advice have been tested by time and by experience also. And maybe we will have better advice, or advice with deeper and more wisdom with more experienced artists. But right now, there's still
You
jobs.
have us.
Yeah, and you have us, and you have this podcast. But yeah,
Yeah.
uh, yeah. Given that there are many things that we can do, or uh, there are things, you know, where we can see it in a different perspective, and I think Salonganisa is the one who will talk more about this for this podcast. But
A different perspective. Yeah.
yeah, maybe like
Yeah.
in
It,
the end, what are we looking here? What
Oh yeah,
we're
yeah.
when talking
okay.
about money in
From
art.
your perspective, because give like quick reminder. So right now my background is I've been working in games for 2 years, just 2 years. But before that, I worked 3 years in graphic design. That's my background. This is my
Yeah,
perspective from what I would do if I lost my job in art. Would I still do art? Uh, JS worked in Winactive for 4 years, a really high paying remote job. So and then he got hit with that curveball out of nowhere. But here he is right now, soldiering on, not applying because the jobs find him. So that this
Yeah.
this cheeky guy right there, that's his perspective. Now we have
well,
a unique
Brushpoint. So
perspective from Mr. Sanabria. Sanonganisa, give them a brief background, like not just like your current background right now, that you're working in casual games. Like, how did you get there? TLDR. What did you do first?
All right, get here.
Uh,
I knew a guy who knew a guy who knew a
no
guy,
guy.
basically. No, but I think
In
that's part
essence.
of the industry as well. Like
No. Yeah.
when we try to look for jobs, or try to look into this career in art, there's always a part of it that we need to have a bit of a network. You know, it's
yeah,
not always just about your skill. I mean, of course, you need to have skill, but sometimes it's also about how wide your reach is to the industry. Like, what, like getting, I guess it's like getting your foot outside the door, in the door, whatever that saying,
Foot in the door. Foot in the door. Yeah.
Yeah, foot in the door. Like, it's kind of like that, like trying to, how do I say it? Um,
Just get yourself in.
yeah, just to get yourself in, you need to have that reach, I guess. Yeah.
Okay. But practically speaking, because yours is a unique position because it was an uphill battle. Coming from a fine art background in visual arts, the pay
Mm,
wasn't consistent. Like reality check
yeah.
for people out there. For a fine artist, you're not guaranteed the salary. And like what Red
Mm,
said earlier, it's how you network because that's how you get shows. So there's not
yeah.
always a paycheck. But so for practical advice, what did you do to survive just to keep doing art and to get to where you are right now, where you get a monthly salary in art?
Oof. A practical advice. It's hard
Mm-hmm.
in my
do
case,
illegal things,
because
joke.
but I
Oh,
think
well,
Oops.
I think it's more of who you surround yourself with. I mean, I've surrounded myself with you guys, with JS, with you, and you guys have always been helpful. Especially, my girlfriend. Like, she's always been helpful. I don't think there's an actual practical advice in trying to survive making art, but really having good
support
people
group.
surrounding you, helping you. Yeah, a great support system. It. If I can be honest, art is horrible. Art is hard.
Yeah,
It's
actually,
very
art is hard.
difficult to live in it, and you really have to have a solid support system to just keep on going. But also, of course, to have a very strong passion for it to keep on going. Because if you don't, then I
It
don't
will
think
push
you'll
you.
last a day. Especially when you're getting hungry, you're having problems on how you'll pay next month's rent or something like that.
Uh,
It's difficult. Like it's very self-reflective of how much your worth is sometimes in
Mm,
art. Like, oh no, I'm not making money. Like, am I really helping out with, or like is art even worth it? Like, is art even helping people out? Even, like, it's a very difficult place to be in. So, yeah, but that's why I always have great people surrounding you. Yeah.
that's red right there. That was his answer. Now, I think we should talk about this side of art where there are lots of opportunities to earn in art. But sometimes the problem might not be the opportunity. The problem might be, do you want to do that type of art to get paid
mm,
for
Mm,
it? Okay. So there are other studios out there. However, you might be coming from a background in animation, film, or maybe you're into mobile games. But the current opportunities that you see right now are in AAA technical artists. Like, would you want to learn technical art to get hired because that's in demand? Or maybe there's a surplus in casino games. Do you want to? Like, would you be okay with that? Because it's still art, it's still game design. But sometimes people might be turned off by that. So, again, this loops back to what's your priority? Do you need to survive? Or do you have the privilege and the luxury of taking more risks and like exploring other opportunities? Because I heard this from Sir Justin Cruz. You gotta be open minded at times. He was one of the first few artists that I know of at the time who got into slot games. Yeah,
slot
but
games.
then yeah, slot games. So and then it's no secret now that they pay really high. However,
Yeah.
I think I'm opening a can of worms with this one, but I'll take it. I'll tank it. Getting spicy here. Sometimes people might associate slot games with like, ew, you're selling out. I heard that. I heard that word. It was really surprising because right now people want to get into slot games. They have great benefits. Have you heard they have gym memberships? They also give you like subsidies for learning, like 60,000 pesos or something. Or I don't know. I'm just like saying a number out of my head. Anyways, so those are not real numbers, but then they give you allowance for that. That's all in slot games. However, some people are turned off by that. But what if you're skilled enough to get in? Like your skill is not the issue. No, again, this is going back to our earlier point of being practical or like
Yeah.
checking yourself. What is your priority? Do you need to eat? Are you gonna get kicked out? Maybe you have to swallow your pride because it's not that bad if you work in other studios and other art styles or other art industries because it's still art at the end of the day. It's still a joy. It's just still a great privilege to be working in art. Maybe you have to check yourself, like really, really search yourself.
Yeah. I think
But you can
people
play the
who
other.
still
Yeah.
think like, yeah, I think people who still think like that are the very idealistic and hopeful younglings, thinking of like,
Mhm.
oh, I will never sell out. I will never do art that I don't want to do.
well,
I
well,
think
in one
Yeah.
that's
sense,
for
actually,
people.
it's if we're gonna be honest, actually, it's in in one sense, it's kind of selling out yourself.
Yeah.
Like
Sure.
it's
Sure.
gonna be real. Like for example, uh, me as much as possible, I don't want to to work on projects that I don't want. But of course, it's all about
Yeah.
going back to priorities. Like,
There. Yeah.
sometimes there's some level of these are the things that you can control or you can what you call that, like maybe you have um, a say in. I mean, it's really hard to have a that the right word about that, but I mean, everyone can choose, of course, and I actually teach that. Like, if you want this kind of job, then focus on the job, and the more you
Mhm.
avoid other kind of jobs, then the more chances that you will succeed on the thing that you are focusing right now. But on the other hand,
Mm.
you know, when you think that you're slower than what you expect, or life happens, then you need to be
Mhm.
at least willing to be flexible. So I think that's the thing that artists should learn. And I mean, I believe when we were teenagers or in college, I only want to do this kind of art. Why would I do this?
I will never work for a
That
company.
idealistic. I only work for
Um,
Pixar, bro. I don't work for. I don't
I
want
don't
to
work
Yeah,
work
for
for.
games. I work
yeah,
for.
uh,
So it's that
yeah, that
balance,
goes back to
Yeah.
that goes back to my what I was saying of it's because they're young, they have they're still they might still live with their parents, especially if you're in Asia. You're not paying like a
Rent.
monthly bill,
You
you're not paying for rent, you're not
not to
paying for
worry about
Yeah.
anything. So
food.
And it's not
Uh
bad,
huh.
by the
I
way, guys.
get
It's not bad.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
not bad because
Yeah.
we've been there. Like I've been in that situation where I will never succumb to the art market. I will do whatever I want, but I didn't.
Gotta pay rent.
I followed the market. I think we just got older and had a different perspective. Like if you
Yeah.
ask me like 6 years ago, 5 years ago, even, I think I would still be very hopeful of, I'll just do the art I wanted.
No, Kim
I'll
Jong
never
Gi
sell
did
out.
this. Why can't I?
Why can't I do? Yeah, exactly. Like
If this
it's
guy
it's
can,
because of youth
right?
and your hopefulness and your what do you call this? Uh, idealistic. Like instead of being a little more realistic, since yeah, you're still having a great life.
Yeah, or like, you just have to know when you can be more idealistic or when can you be more
Yeah.
realistic or practical.
Yeah.
Uh,
But I'd
y-
also like to play the not jaded artist though. Like, sure, at the moment you gotta do this type of art. It's still art. Again, it's still art.
Yeah.
yeah.
You might like, for example, I'll turn it over. I want to get in AAA, but
Mm.
currently the opportunity is hypothetical. Like for example, like this animation studio wants to get me because I suddenly showed them my spine animation a while ago, and they were like, "Wow, you want to work for us? This is brand new."
Wow.
Let's just say, like, yeah, like if there's no other opportunity and like I need to pay rent, or I'm gonna get evicted from my condo unit, I'll take it because it's still art. It could be worse. I could be slaving away doing something else I'm not happy with. And that has happened. That gave me anxiety. Like in a previous job, I was shaking before work hours because I didn't want to work anymore. I had to. Uh,
Mhm.
Again, that's I'm not that jaded, but I'd like to change my mindset and view that like, okay, I'm using this to survive, still art. But outside of work, I'm gonna work towards where I want to be. Like for example, AAA. So outside of work hours, after working how many frames or something for animation, I'm gonna work on my portfolio after and then still keep it up, keep going while I weather out this cycle that the industry is going through. So again, there are other ways you can look at it. You can just sit on your thumb, like say, zip, the art industry is dead. Or you can just continue making art because that's what started you on this path. You enjoyed making art. So if you're not earning from it, or if you're earning from a different type of art, uh, it's not the end. Just do the stuff you need to do to survive, and then art on the side. Because you can't do art when you're dead. You can't do art when you're kicked out of your house. You can't do art if you're
Mhm.
starving on the street. So survive and then just do art on the side. That makes you happy. Yeah. I get maybe I'm am I dumbing it down? Like I don't wanna complicate art
I mean, it
because life
depends.
is
It
very
depends
stressful.
on, what stage of
Yeah.
life you are in
You
right
are
now.
in. There are a lot of
You know,
factors again.
because it can
Yeah, but
be
if you're
straightforward, but at the same time, it can be a little intimidating. Like it
Yeah.
because we're talking also about adulting stuff, being
Yeah.
independent, um, or maybe at
Mhm.
one point,
Oh
being
yeah, we're all
privileged.
living outside of our parents' house right
Yeah,
now. I can
we're
join the
all now.
squad. Class-
Oh yeah.
That, that's why
You're part of it.
it's kind of funny because even though I know that you understand adulting, but the moment that you transferred here, that's when I'm sure that you already know what adulting really is when
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
became
you'll
independent.
understand
Yeah,
it when once you leave the house. I think
it's
I
not big.
never
You know,
understood the scope.
knowledge cannot is not enough. These are the things that knowledge. It's like
Yeah,
parenting.
you can
You
listen.
can read a lot
Yeah,
of books in parenting, but you will not understand it. We will not understand
yeah,
it.
you can listen. You can listen to this podcast, other podcasts, or whatever about how hard it is doing art
But
or
once you,
whatever. But
yeah,
until you do it, you won't
Yeah,
until
understand
you
how
experience it,
difficult it
it's true.
actually is. Yeah.
but
But it's not the
actually,
end. We're still here.
yeah, but although we are giving, this is like an encouragement to artists or to everyone listening to this. But at the same time, if you need to do that, then maybe there's not still enough money in art. I mean, guys, did you think about that?
Still do.
True.
So,
Still do what?
Yeah.
why do you think it's that? Like, I, I'm just trying to think about it, critically, because at the same time we have this approach where you balance, uh, your job, and then you're pursuing your actual dream job. If a lot of artists need to do that, then maybe there's not that many opportunities in art.
Mm. Oh
So
yeah, that makes sense.
yeah, right. If
Okay.
you think about that, so
True.
it's like
Yeah.
I'm also challenging ourselves. Like, is that really the case? But I think, it does it at the same time. So I'm just gonna give a little, maybe one of the answers there is we also need to be aware, when it comes to art industry. Art industry or creative industry is so wide that although art is subjective, there are easier art jobs. So I think, we as artists who dream, especially in games, and like for example, having a graphic design job is 100% easier than having
Mm.
than being an artist
Whoa,
in game
whoa,
industry.
whoa! He's dropping bombs.
Controversial,
Is this content?
but it's true.
Is this
Yeah, if you
quantifiable?
just want to actually earn money in art, I mean, graphic design is art. Graphic art
And
is
I'm not
art. You
saying
know.
because graphic design is easy to learn but hard to master. You see,
No.
Yeah,
it's
doesn't
same
mean you're great in
same.
it, just because you know how to do it doesn't mean you're great in it. Like I've
Yeah.
known a lot of
Okay.
people who've been working in graphic design for years and then to me their layouts is pretty bad.
Yeah, because
But yeah.
imagine I got my first graphic design job when I was still a student, under a known ad agency. But
Mm.
when I'm trying to do art or to get job in games, I that's when I really need to practice fundamentals like anatomy, perspective, composition, which is actually also exist in graphic design, but the entry point is much more easier. So that's what I'm saying, because uh you know in terms of art, it that's why we're talking about here, specifically game industry or maybe animation industry, because actually, having an art job is easier in some sense if you're not going to be really specific. If you just want to have, as long as it's creative, as long as there's art in it, then maybe it's easier to get a job, if you're willing, of
Yeah.
course, if you're willing.
If you're willing, there
Yeah.
we go. Again, check your
So drops
priorities,
of
man. It all boils
I know
down to
it's
the
controversial, but
security.
it's true, guys. I've been a graphic
Oh, dude,
designer
graphic designers
since I was
are gonna
student.
come after us.
Yeah, I have a lot
They're
of
gonna
graphic
comment this.
designer friends. So if you're
Same,
listening
my
to this,
batchmates.
guys, my graphic design friends are listening to this, then I love you guys.
Bang, bang, bang. Well, I'm not gonna say it's easy because I mean I got a
Yeah,
job in
it's
graphic
hard. It's
design,
hard to
but
master, you know. I
it's
I
hard,
actually
Yeah.
think
especially.
graphic design, you
So,
know, thinking about those things, I think it's actually more deeper, or you need to have, you know, deeper uh understanding on how people view your art compared to illustration. At least for me, because I was a graphic designer first, and then I became an illustrator. And you know, for me, it's easier to know when the illustration is good. But in graphic design, no, it's for me it's kind of abstract sometimes. So
Oh
but
yeah.
it's like a
then,
spectrum, you
but
know. If
then,
you're doing electric
yeah.
fan layouts and then you're doing branding, it's a
Uh-huh.
wide spectrum of if that kind of art is hard or not.
But then you can look at it that the skills are sort of transferable if you
Yeah.
think about it. Because when you draw, you sort of design. So that's still transferable. But then before we get off topic with this graphic design tangent, it's still under art, by the way.
Yeah.
It's still
Yeah.
under art, by the way. So if you really need to
It's an
earn, you
option.
need to pay your bills. It's an option. It's transferable. It's not the end. And if you think about it, it's one of the most common ways on how artists transition into a career in art. So most of them, oh, never mind. I don't want to say most of them. Usually, some of them start in advertising. Patrick Jones, the teacher I took lessons under, he started in advertising for 10 years. Uh, then he moved into fine art. So there's that too. So it's not the end of the world. So if you're languishing in graphic design right now, there's still hope. I came from graphic design. Jay is good for graphic design. So
I
again,
came from
check your
graphic design.
priorities.
Yeah,
Oh,
actually the three of us.
more drop right there.
Yeah.
All right. So that was a bunch of spicy takes we got there. Practical
For
advice. We
views.
dropped some practical advice there every now and then. We peppered them down. Is there anything else we can give them, like for practicalities?
Oh,
Um,
I got one.
okay.
Like
Well,
if you're like since we're in the topic of money, like I heard this from I think Stan Prokopenko, Proko. I think he
Stan.
said something, yeah, along the lines of if you're entering the art world to get rich, it's a mistake from the beginning. Like it's you can say it's lucrative if you're in the fine art scene, but that's like a one in a million chance of you being that auction baby, that millionaire, that people, that James Jean or whoever fine artist that you admire, like, or whoever rich artist is there. It's a very difficult chance to be that person who
Earns a lot from
has
art.
a million, yeah, earns a lot from
Mhm.
art. Like it's if if you want to get into art because you want to get rich, I think you're in the wrong industry. That's what I'm gonna say. Like it's yeah, I like before I had that mindset of, oh, fine art is a way to get a lot of money. Like just selling one painting is what, like 30,000 pesos, something like that. Like I just need to work for 4 hours, like, but in reality, it's such a difficult place to be in, like trying
Uh-huh.
to earn from or trying to get a lot of money out of art. So if you're in it for just the money, I think you should just go and do business or other professions. And yeah.
Yeah, so kung
I want to play on that.
yeah,
Oh,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
Sorry. We were going to speak in Filipino.
Yeah, almost. Yeah.
I saved you, bro. I got you. Go. You first.
We have a special translation here. But yeah, I just think about,
Mm,
I think to define clearly. If your definition of having money in art is not just having a job, if you want to be actually rich, guys, I can help you to know, a lot of things where you can earn more money and not too hard.
Yeah.
Jeff Watts will say the same, so will Stan. Like, if you want to make money, there are more lucrative ways to do so than art. It can be done, but if you want to be realistic, get into business, you'll earn 5 times more. But would you be
Hmm.
happy? That is the question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like imagine working
There we
for,
go.
let's say, let's just say 40 years. Like imagine 40 years doing something every day or Monday to Friday. That's our
Mhm.
reward for being an artist in this industry, because we get to do art every day, and
You
hopefully
get paid for it.
you got the project that you love working on, or with the people that you love working with. So yeah.
Yeah. If not,
There
just
we
apply
go.
every day. Like I've heard that advice as well from that artist Jay Hill. Like if you guys know him, if he's a 3D
A
artist.
great
Like
3D
if you're
character artist.
a amazing
Yeah,
3D
amazing,
character artist,
amazing guy.
like apply one in one company every day, just even just one every day, like in a company you want to work in. Like you'll never know, like it's already so difficult to get a job by applying maybe 10. Let's say you applied for 10 companies today, but you didn't apply for tomorrow, the next day, next week. Since because you're thinking, oh, I already applied to 10. And these are the only companies that I want to work in. But, I don't think you'll ever land that job. Like, I think you have to apply every day. Yeah. Yeah.
Before
Persistence
I
pays off. That's right.
before I say my next point, we can open up the floors for questions. We got 7 minutes, roughly 10 minutes left, so we can
Yeah.
answer a few questions from our audience right now if they have any. But to riff off of what Red and Jay has said earlier, uh, yeah, there are many more ways you can earn more. But the question I always ask myself is, would I be happy? No. It's different. That if you're privileged enough to work in a job that's not that taxing on you, that you don't loathe, and then you do art after, that's already a win. However, if you're like me, who just wants to do something creative, like if you make me sit down behind the desk in the back, I will start shooting people with pencils or something. I'd go crazy. Um, I'd go John Wick, man. I'd go nuts. Again, that's my temperament. I'd have to do something creative. However, you can also look at it in a different lens. What if we find a way to earn out of making art, though it's not the project you want to? Again, I always say this: it's still art. Like things could be a lot worse if uh, if you're not where you are yet, but you're working in art. So again, get your priorities in check. Then decide short-term goals. Maybe you're not where you want to be, but you're earning art from art and you're surviving. So you can divide your time in the day with your day job and then your portfolio stuff so that you can work on your long-term goals and hopefully get to where you don't have to grind outside of work because you like the projects you're working on. Maybe I'm hopeful. Am I not jaded enough? I don't know, but I don't want to complicate myself anymore. Again, with what Patrick Jones would always say, there is no complex, only simple with me. So I try to dumb things down so that I don't get overwhelmed because I tend to get paralyzed by analysis, over analysis. So yeah.
So
Asking for friends who want to start commissions. How do you price your own art? Oh, okay, that's related to money.
Now,
So
yeah.
I don't sell my art, so I'm gonna leave that to you too. You got this.
well,
You can start there.
I don't do commissions, so I actually did commissions, but I don't think I'm the best one who can give advice, because my commission price are very high, to the point that I don't expect actually to have clients. And the clients that I have, especially in terms of commissions, like for example, uh, my illustration for personal use, I don't change my rates. So
There's still US rates.
yeah, and that's why the only way I get jobs is by contacting studios or people, I don't know, people in LinkedIn, because I know I don't want to have that problem, how to price my art.
Mm.
So
Okay.
so I didn't give you an
How do
answer.
we?
Sorry.
Yeah. I'm trying to condense that. So, like, Mr. Lumpia, he knows his worth, and he's not gonna because he's already been paid that amount
And
in US
and I know
dollars
I
by
know
foreigners
Yeah.
it's not reasonable to ask that to clients who's gonna use it
from
for personal
Filipinos.
personal use.
Okay.
Even
Like
you're if you're
what
a
I've
foreigner, it's too
Oh,
high. And I know it.
yeah, what
I
I've
respect it. So I'm not even trying to price my art for commissions because I know it
yeah,
doesn't make
like what I've
sense.
noticed with JS is that he will never bend the knee with pricing for commissions. He will never step down to like, can you give us a bargain price in art? Like
Look
he
for
will
he'd be
never
other
do
like,
that
no,
artists. You
just
know
because
what?
he knows his worth.
And I have
there we
Yeah,
go.
look
savings,
for other
so
artists. That's what he always says.
so I can afford that. Because if I don't have any savings, then I can and I might answer that now. So
Hmm.
Okay.
so it's
But
kind
but
of
if
But
I can
pretty
again,
also
interesting.
for that,
answer,
yeah.
yeah, go.
Sorry,
Yeah,
go on.
pricing some
Yeah,
Lisa's paintings, big paintings.
yeah. Like if I could answer the commission part, like, is that gonna be your main source of income, or is that just part of like another
Convention.
string
Or
of
like,
income? Yeah, like is it your conventions? Is it what is it for? Because if
Yeah.
you think
so
about it, let's say you
side
do
hustle income.
maybe one or two commissions a month, then how much would that be? Like let's say it's 1,000 for each. Then divide that for the days and your expenses. Like would that be enough for you to live on that? On how much
Basically
that is?
compute your
Like
expenses
is
actually.
it
Okay.
like is it certain that you get two commissions a month? Is it certain that you get more per month? Then you stretch that for your whole year. Like would that be enough for you? But if it's just like what you said, like a side hustle income, then I think you could just price it eh, honestly whatever you want, like
Yeah.
whatever you think it's worth. Like you should know how hard you worked on it. Maybe you worked on it for let's say 36 hours, then you'll price it pretty low. I don't think that would be rewarding enough for you. So you have to think also how much could it be in hours. Like for us here in fine arts, we price it based on how big it is. Like let's say it's 40 pesos per square inch, and then you try to add in like the expenses you've done with it, like the materials, like
Yeah.
how much the paint is and whatnot, especially when you're starting. But when yeah, I think that's just how you price it, like how much you think it would be worth your time as well to do. Yeah.
Okay. There were some factual stuff there I want to rehash. So, you measured like per inch, per square inch, and
Yeah.
then how much it is per square inch. That's one way to
Hmm.
make it finer. And then on
Yeah,
top
but
of
that's
that, you
for
have
fine
to
art guys,
assess
okay?
your
Yeah.
In
yeah
digital
fine art
prints it's
or
different.
Yeah,
yeah
you can
again
price it for
yes.
size of
Wait,
pixels.
not done yet. Yeah, that's for like handcrafted stuff. But then for like
Yeah.
digital, you still have to factor in factual stuff like how much time did you spend on it
Yeah.
and stuff like that. You can't
Mm.
since pixels are sort of fine infinite. You can't really price it. I don't know how to because pixels are digital and you can't really um, touch that. So, but then if you're gonna have it printed, you might want to consider like personal use or something like that. Again, we're trying to stick factual here because art is subjective. So like the subjective
So
stuff is like
wait,
how much do
what
you think
is your
it's worth? That's
question?
like
Like how much a digital painting should worth? Like how much a digital print should be worth? Is that your
No,
question?
no, I'm not asking anything. Like I'm not asking
Mm.
anything. Like for digital print, there are other things to consider. Like factually, you want to start with factual
Mm.
stuff first, and then put your subjective stuff on top on how you price your commissions. So again,
Okay.
I'm trying to reach out to students who might be starting out, or people who want to get into art for
You,
side hustles and stuff like that.
you know, guys, how
Yeah.
I will do
Yes.
it if tomorrow I will suddenly, stop my work and then do commissions. What I will do, so this is like the YouTube videos. Uh, I tried being a artist or something like that. So what I will actually do is I'm gonna check other artist pricing because it means
There.
they sell their stuff with that pricing. Then I'm gonna ask myself, am I better? And I'm not just
Oh, that's
better.
subjective,
Yeah.
though.
So it's up to you. It's like risk reward.
Oh my
First
god.
thing is, do you
Yeah.
think you're better? And do you think your work is more appealing than their work? And do you think the difference maybe in following? Like for example, if it's really hard to compare yourself, like for example, to Eonix because his work is really good and at the same time he has a lot of following. So it's like to maybe those two things already you're gonna know if you should be near this artist price or not.
Yeah.
So it's like, but at the same time you need to ask yourself in the end, wait, can I survive with this? Again, the purpose or the intention of you doing
Get your
commissions. So
priorities.
you're gonna balance it
Yes, there
out.
we go.
So before even doing that kind of stuff, you you can know if it's practical and if it's very low, like for example in fine arts, if I'm gonna create paintings to be put in galleries, I know it's not gonna be high. I know that my rate in being an illustrator is much more higher because I'm just starting, but I should also know when, maybe around what year or what kind of breakthrough I need to have this amount and survive. So those are, different things because we guys, we may be answering this question and the artist maybe, because this is Lumi's friend, right? It's not Lumi's question actually. So maybe he or she is still a student and don't need to think about those stuff yet. And maybe you can price your work so low. It's not really wrong, but at the same time, I think the best
Play it.
starting point is, you know ask or check the other artists doing commissions, because
Yeah.
actually,
Okay.
as much as we want to say that your what do you call that, the only enemy is yourself, this is a market with customers and you're actually competing with other artists. Like technically you're competing with other artists, even in job
Yeah.
applications. You need to improve yourself, but actually, if you are the customer, you are choosing what to buy, and you're not, when you go to convention where you're looking for artists to commission, you don't plan it like I'm gonna commission all of you. You're just choosing one or certain number of artists, so technically you are competing. So how do you play within that kind of competition? But I'm not saying you should think about it like a competition. I'm just saying that regardless, if you think
Get a different
yeah,
perspective, basically. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Wait, so since we stayed too long on that topic, on that question, there's a follow up right there connected to that. Do you think it's better if we base it on the minimum wage in the Philippines, like the wage per hour? Okay, okay, this is a tricky one because
Man, I don't even
relation to
I
how,
don't even
yeah,
consider
yeah,
our minimum wage a real wage, man.
yeah, yeah.
So,
Um, listen, when it comes to like pricing your stuff, again, try to be factual first and then
Yeah.
put the
Know the
stuff, the
baseline, you know.
subjective stuff. Yeah, be objective first, and then put
At
subjective
least
on
break
top.
even your
Because
expenses.
yeah,
Yeah,
there,
yeah, that's
there.
the
At
first
least.
part. Like
At least.
really, at least like when you sell, you sell one painting or one artwork, at least let that
Yeah.
be a coverage of how much you
You
put
know,
out
Spent
some
on that.
some
in
peop-
Yeah,
prints or
some
whatever.
of our
Oh,
listeners may be planning to might be planning to do, like, for example, doing mural. Like, at least break even your materials and the time that you put into that
yeah.
or
artwork.
let them pay for the materials. That's what I always
Yeah.
do. Like especially for murals, I never buy my own stuff. Like
Yeah.
I just let them because
For
that's their budget.
especially for
It's hard to
traditional, yeah.
ask for their budget. They always
There we
ask,
go.
"Oh, what's the price?" I don't know. What's your budget? That's always a follow up question. You let them buy it if it's for
That's a
murals,
nice way.
but of course,
Oh, I like that.
Yeah, but we can talk
yeah, but
about
of
it,
course,
like, guys, we
mm,
can talk about that specific topic for a whole day if you want. So just let us know. Comment below.
It's safer. Yeah. Comment below if you
comment below.
want an episode on that. Next question
I
Yeah,
love talking
we
about
have
money as
from
artist, you know.
yeah,
student. Oh, I think people should be financially literate, especially artists, because it's hard to earn money.
yeah.
It's easy to squander away. So you gotta be smart with money to make
Yes.
sure it stays with you.
We love buying
Keep
art
the money
materials,
rolling,
so we need to learn about money.
or like art gear or something, tablets or something like that. So
Yeah.
you gotta be smart with money. That can be another topic, a whole new topic. So
Okay.
they don't discuss that in school. All right, next. Speaking of school, we have a question from a student. Do you think it's better to master one aspect of art or have decent skills in multiple forms of art? Now, I'm going to try to reframe this question in relation to our topic of money and art. Okay. So I think this student's goal is to get hired so that she can earn from art.
Mm.
And she's
Mm-hmm.
asking if it's better to master one aspect of art or master multiple forms. So the age old question of specialist versus
Generalist.
generalist in this current climate in the art
Mm.
industry. Mr. Lupia, you want to take the lead on
Um.
this? Yeah.
Yeah, I think just think about the risk, because there are risks on those two things. You know, mastering one skill, in some sense, there's a risk because uh you will most probably will not get jobs that's not in your style. Or, like, if we're talking about style, I'm not sure if you're talking about style or like category of art, like for example, all illustrations
Like
or all concept
illustration.
art, or you're
There we
talking
go.
about all realistic or all stylized. It's different, but at the same time, it's most probably, like, for example, if I'm an art directing a project, or I'm a client creating a game, I will not hire if I need, like, for example, my theme is Lord of the Rings. The first artist that I will try to hire are those who love doing Lord of the Rings stuff, of course. So if you're doing, like, for example, Mega Man, don't expect to be hired in that project, right? But at the same time, have if you're in the point that you have decent skills on multiple forms of art, there are just two versions of that. It's either you're not good on anything, or you have so many experience that you are good in 2D, in 3D, in, a lot of stuff. And if you're starting, if that this question is in the perspective of a more junior level of artist, then might as well just focus on, you know mastering one aspect of art, because most probably one mastering one aspect of art is not actually mastering just one aspect of art. Like, if you really apply it, like, for example, I'm just gonna do
Mm.
illustration, guys. There are a lot of illustrations. There are environment, creature, or multiple characters. You can have, like, sub uh subtopics or subcategories of illustration. So what you should just think about actually is you can you can focus on one aspect, but at the same time consider what do I need to showcase in my portfolio, like for example in illustrations based on the on your target job. So for example, if you want to get in let's say slot games, then you can do a lot of illustration, you can do like splash art, but what do you think the important aspects that you need to showcase to be considered in the slot games? For example, maybe rendering, bright colors, or maybe the stylized forms. I don't know. Some art directors have different preferences, but there's some core or fundamental things that uh, they consider before in judging your portfolios. So yeah, that's my answer for that. And we can also talk about that the whole day
Yeah,
if you want.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think another way to think of it is like maybe you do want a specific one in all those multiple art forms that you want. Like the other ones that you're not trying to master can be a fallback to, can be a fallback for you. Like
Yeah,
let's
maybe.
say graphic design, but it won't be your passion. Like you really just want to paint, do illustrations, but you don't have the means to get in that industry yet. So it might be a fallback and could help you reach that goal, financially, of course. So yeah.
Yeah.
So increase your odds, but also try to do what, like, show what you want to do, because you're gonna get hired for that inevitably. Like, show it in your portfolio, but also you gotta know, like, you're providing your services to the studio you want to work for. I'm gonna share a quick tangent before we move on to the next and last question. My boss got really mad at this applicant like 2 weeks ago because he's old. One, he's old, and two, he hates young people. So the applicant
Bias.
was all like asking, like, what's blah blah blah, what's blah blah blah, all asking like, what can you offer me? That's the tone, instead of how can I help you or what can I do. So the applicant didn't put her portfolio or anything. It was all asking like, how much is this? What are the blah, what are the blah, 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 blah. So again, it's hard to like humble yourself. Like, but then you have to remember these people are gonna pay for you, like for your work. You are providing your work. You are providing a service. So always remember, be professional. I know Gen Zs. I'm a Gen Z myself, but I act more like a millennial. I know Gen Zs want to take the power back. Like we we,
Whoa,
we
whoa,
live.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Wait, we don't work. We don't live to work. We work to live, right? So again, but also you gotta respect the grind. And remember, you have to be the one to provide that service. The company won't give you any validation. They won't give you your purpose, okay? They won't give you your purpose in life. So try to work your portfolio to see that it will be a match for the company. You won't be a hindrance, you won't be a roadblock. You'll actually help. Okay, focus more on that. Think of it that way. Again, it's an suggestion based on someone who's working inside, like seeing my boss crash out in our Slack channel over this young gun. So again, it was quite amusing because I understand both sides. Honestly, I do. But if you want to be professional and get hired, that's your first priority. Check yourself and maybe eat some humble pie. And then two,
Made some
make
humble
sure
pie.
your portfolio and your works actually fit into the company's portfolio and their catalog of works done. And that you're supposed to help make life easier for the company, not the company makes your life easier or something like that. Okay.
Whoa, whoa,
So
whoa,
I know that was
whoa.
a long-winded tangent. So I hope I got across properly. I didn't mean to be introspective or something. Again, it just comes from a nice place where I
Back
want
in
people to
my
get
day.
hired. Back in
Back
my
in
day,
my day,
Gramps.
you
Okay.
guys are so entitled. That
We
All
are
right.
boy.
all entitled.
Uh,
Yeah, we are artists. We have to be.
Is there still
all
a
right.
question?
Yes. Yeah.
We have one
Do
more.
you know of some income streams gig outside of art that really works for artists, some kind of fallback? So,
Mm,
what can you
Outside of
do?
art.
So let's say, yeah, let's say you're not really having a good time getting a job right now as an artist. Or maybe you are working somewhere else, but it's not art. What else can you do, like on the side, to earn money? Um,
Mix
stocks.
cement. No, I don't know.
I
Like,
mean, I,
it's such a big question. Like, what do you know outside of art? Like, we can say it's stocks, but do you know how to
yeah,
invest in those
you
stocks
know,
and
it's
whatever?
hard,
Because
guys.
I,
It's
I
hard.
don't
I'd
know
say.
anything about it.
I'm
Yeah, it's
telling
very
you.
hard. Like, I don't know anything about it, so it won't be a gig outside of art that I would know. Like,
you can you
I don't
can
think I know anything
you can have
not art
some
related.
music gig, but do you know how to play instrument? You know. So maybe
Yeah.
let's just answer the income streams. Yeah, we can answer that, I think, if you're asking like other art jobs, but yeah, like there's no limit in possibilities, you know.
Like, again,
Yeah,
practically
it depends on what you
speaking, that
know. Yeah.
Yeah.
we're trying to be
I
factful
actually
and practical
I
here,
actually think
so it's
I
kind of hard.
can be a real estate agent if I don't do art.
I can't.
Wow.
Yeah.
I
Like I
don't think
think
so. I am too introverted to like, hey, can you please get this flyer?
yeah, I think
Lisa?"
I'm analyzing myself. I think that's my job in other timeline, other universe, selling stuff. Because I love explaining, sir, do you want this? Yeah. Some kind.
Could be a math teacher
Or you
for
can,
sure. I think.
or you can
Maybe.
sell like health insurance. Oh
Yeah,
my
maybe.
goodness, I tried. I mean, my aunt tried to get me into
Do
that.
you have
I just
insurance
couldn't
already,
stomach it.
Bungisngis?
Yeah, I do.
Are you sure?
Because of my aunt.
We can talk about it.
Oh, don't give me the spiel. People don't buy spare tires when they have a flat
Do
tire.
you want
They
to
have
have
a
a
Do you
cup
have
spare
a
of
tire
credit
at all
card?
coffee?
times.
Do you
Oh,
already have a credit card?
Let's
oh
go to
my
coffee shop,
goodness.
man.
So
Let's
yeah,
just, talk.
don't don't lose more money. Please be smart. Right. We can wrap it up around here. It's been an hour already, so
Yeah.
right
So
on
what's the
cue.
answer, guys?
So
Is there still money in art? What's our answer?
TLDR, yes, but the biggest problem you're gonna face is the opportunities to get a job in art at the moment. So yes,
Yeah, you
there
are
is money.
fighting with millions of
Hungry
artists as well.
artists.
So
Mhm.
yeah, hungry artists. Like if you want to get into Riot, like Riot is just one entity. And
Yeah.
we can't all
Out of a
fit in
hundred
there.
groups.
Like you have to consider that
Riot
as
cannot
well.
hire
So might as
us.
well
All of us, guys.
work in different I mean a similar art style, or just try to be open minded, I guess, in different
Yeah.
branches of art and all that
Yeah.
too.
Again, yeah, it's
Until it's
part
your
of
turn.
maturity too. Yeah, I know we're all like some of the kids here joke around and stuff, but at some point you gotta be really mature about it. Like it's not about bending over to the studio as well. Know your worth.
It's
Like if you're being
not.
exploited, get out or don't go into that studio. But also, know your worth and be an asset. It goes back to that. What can you offer the studio? Because the studio will pay you for your time. You're not going there for free. They know that they're a business. These business people like to talk money. So if we talk numbers with them, for this amount of hours, I'll work for you and I'll get you this result. Facts. Okay. So to get there, you gotta show that you can stack up. That's why we have art tests. But to get to the art tests, you gotta pass the interviews. But to get to the interviews, you gotta show that your portfolio stands out and is a good fit for the studio. So there are a lot of factors. But if you break it down like that, it should help you get a job in the industry. and then hopefully you get money. And there is our session for today. And I think that's a good spot to wrap it up. So thank you guys for joining us.
Actually, I want to
Again,
add
we're
more.
not like
I want to add more. I think
industry experts. Oh, one
yeah,
last go.
I think I need to add more to that because we're saying a lot of advice here on what
Yeah.
you should do. But I think just to make sure, I just want to make sure because you may be asking guys, okay, we know what to do, but is it worth it? I mean, that's the question, right? Is it worth it? Because if we will not have, you know, the job that we want, maybe it's not worth it. So I just want to say that, we actually don't know what's the biggest effect. Like for example, in layoffs, in I don't know, the transition, the cycle. Maybe it's about AI. Maybe it's about the investments. Maybe it's about uh, it's about many things. We don't have specific stats or data to answer what is the actual, but it may be all of that. It may be you know the economics, but it it's sure that there will be more art jobs. We don't know what specific art job. We don't know if there's more 3D or 2D or illustration or concept art, but there will be more projects because the industry is not revolving around the big companies. Actually, the transition right now is there are more indie companies rising and actually having more players than the triple A. So it may not impact us right now, like we don't benefit from that right now. It may be you may be benefiting it from, like for example, I have these projects right now that's actually kind of starting or under NDA, still under NDA. But the point is there will be more projects, and the more projects, the more animated films, the more games that's being produced, then the more artists that the industry need. So these are the things that we can look forward to. Again, I'm not sure if it's gonna be this year. Most probably not. uh it's it's still hard for others, even for senior artists. Some senior artists in other countries having a hard time to get the job. But again, like, if you're still buying games, then there will be more games in the future. So just think about that, because future we don't predict here, but we can observe what is actually happening, and the demand and other stuff. People do not stop playing games just because Ubisoft, EA, laid off and stopped some of their projects. We
Our
still play
truth, yeah.
games. We want to buy and play more games, right? We want to, I don't know, consume and spend our time, looking at the computer, or I don't know, and playing games. So if you yourself love playing games, and still you think you will still love playing games in the future, then most probably there will be more games in the future, and you will have the job that you want or you need in the game industry in the future. Just don't stop.
Hmm.
Tcharam!
I was about to wrap up the show there, but one of our latecomers in the audience asked a pretty loaded question. Do you guys want to answer that? Because I
Yeah,
think we
JC is
can, but I
special,
want to
guys.
know.
We cannot leave him.
Oh, oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Guess we're dropping the name. I was trying to be professional here, but okay.
Yeah, we will drop the name,
Uh,
but your reward for that is we're gonna answer your question.
all
One
right. Who
like
Uh,
on
takes
our
the lead on
YouTube
this?
video when it comes out.
yeah.
Mhm. It's on 1 hour and 24
I guess
minutes. Or-
we can read the question for everyone first, I guess.
Yep.
Okay, I'll do
So
it
the
then
question
to give
is,
you time.
yeah, do
Oh,
it, do it.
will you read it? Okay. So
No,
to
you
give
got
you
it.
time to answer, what will you do if what you have focused on a niche that doesn't really open opportunities? You try to be a specialist on a certain thing, but you're not yet on par. And You okay? I'm gonna change the grammar here. You don't have a product or portfolio for a generalist position at the time. What would you do if time is against you as well? Would you try and make another folio for a generalist position that may take time, or find a job that is not what you like, or maybe not in the art industry, just to sustain making that portfolio? We
I actually
answered
think
this a while ago.
we already
Kind of
answered it.
did.
Yeah, we did. But like a quick
Unfortunately, he was late.
answer to that. Yeah, but like if we could answer that really quickly, I think it's about trying not to fit in a hole that is not your shape. You know,
Yeah, just have a
you guys know
scope
that
at
saying?
least. Define your scope.
Hmm.
What you're trying to do.
Define your scope and be practical. Again, check your priority first. Like, are you gonna starve?
Hmm.
Like, is your family not gonna have a roof over their heads in the end
Yeah.
of the month?
If you
Wherever you
literally
are in the
have
position, that's what.
Yeah, if you don't literally have any more money, then you don't even have to ask what you need to do. You just have to get a job. If that's
Yeah,
literally
right.
you need to feed your family, man, I will not go to Brushpoint and ask first. You know, I'm willing to do any jobs. That's it. So, uh, where are you
Yeah,
right now?
honestly.
That's my question, and that's how you will answer your own question. Where are you right now, and what kind of risk can you can you possibly take?
Can you stomach? Yeah, how much risk can you stomach? Depends on your risk appetite. And
Because the
where
definition
are
of
you?
risk
Like,
here is not getting a job that you don't want. That's the risk. That's a risky
that can be a
part.
risk.
Yeah.
Or if you're one of us, like, our risk is if we don't pay rent monthly, we're gonna get evicted. That's another risk. Where are
Yeah.
you right now? And this is just apply to JC. This is for everyone. Like, know where you are.
Yeah.
If you're
Anyone.
privileged enough to be living with your parents at the moment and they're not really bugging you, then maybe focus, lock in. However, if your parents are
Mm-hmm.
pressuring you to get a job somewhere, you have to, like, look into yourself. Like, maybe you can get the job in art that's not where you want to be, but it's still art. Then you can transition. It's easier to laterally transition into another studio if you're in the art industry, or you can work in a different industry depending on where you are. Factually speaking, this isn't a black and white answer, because again, I keep saying this over and over again. Check what your priorities are. Will you die of starvation after a month because you literally can't buy groceries anymore? Maybe you need to work somewhere new. Or two, maybe you can just hold out and weather the what your parents are saying. But then again, this is a case to case basis. Because personally, like, I was in that point where my mom was pressuring me to apply in this job that's literally not relating to creatives. But I still somehow found a job in mine. That's me. I don't want to be introspective. I don't want to make this about me. Can apply differently to someone else. Then this is a kind of a heavy topic. So, yeah, what if you're, because it was opened up about the mental struggles of that. How do we be factual? Because we're not psychologists here. But if you're not, no one's gonna die. I keep hearing that in work just to help offset it because it's really stressful. But I kind of appreciate that right now. So, like, is someone gonna die if you find a job in art, or maybe someone's gonna die if you don't get a job? Like, how do we quantify this? How do we solve this? How do we answer it? Like, mentally, like, the struggle of not getting into a job, and how do we how do we tackle that, guys?
Well,
What do you think,
for
JS?
me, I'm not also a psychologist, but the
Yeah.
easy the easy if you're gonna check the big picture here, that because JC said mental struggles, mental
Mm.
struggles is the effect of because basically what we can see right now based on the question is you will not have mental struggles if you have the job, right? Because it's the effect after not having a job. So um,
Mm.
we of course we can't help on the mental struggle stuff because it's more like, for example, when eh, I think a lot of members already know this. For example, when I was practicing, or I was dreaming, become a better artist and getting a good job. We're living in Marikina Palengke, or in English, like in the market, public
Market.
market. Yeah, and I don't really have a choice because it's either we will live there forever with the giant rats, or
That's not an
and
exaggeration.
yeah,
It's
like
real. That's
literally
real.
giant rats, the size of cats, and a lot of flooding whenever it's rainy season. Like, I know that nothing will change if me and my sisters are not gonna do anything, because our parents are very old. Like, my dad right now is almost 80 years old. So, I have also, maybe all of us in some way have this kind of struggles mentally, sometimes even physically. But at the same time, I am in a position where I don't have a choice but to try and do it. And it's like, i need I need to be successful in this, because there's no there's no realistic version of our lives that is where I'm like, me and my sisters are not successful enough, because we're in the public market, and we're just renting, and we cannot pay the rent anymore. So uh it's a really long story, but the point here is, you know, again, where are you right now? Because if you're saying mental struggles, we don't even know what it means. You know, is it like, and we will not say that, you know, uh, find that being poor is better or is worse than having mental struggles. I don't know. I'm not,
Yeah,
a
we're being
judge of
careful.
life where I will say this is better or this is better. But the point here is, regardless of the situation, is you you have a choice. You have a choice, and if you really can't tolerate it, maybe you can choose other path, uh temporary path, and you need to involve
Temporary.
the
Yes.
people that matter. Maybe your family, girlfriend, everyone that will be affected in your decision. So, I think I can answer this better if I'm around, maybe 50 years old, because I will have enough wisdom to answer it. But right now, it's like, as much as I want to encourage you, it's just that that's your position right now. So, what are the things? It's like, it's kind of funny, because what I remember here is, the Gandalf and Frodo uh, dramatic conversation. I forgot it.
One.
I forgot the
Anyone
lines, but
wants Samwise?
it's like about destiny, because, well, basically basically Frodo asked Gandalf, why is this happening to me? Like, something like that. That's the gist. But Gandalf said something around, like, the nobody wants to be in that position, but what matters is what you do with the time or the opportunity that you have. Of course,
Oh,
that's not
what?
the exact
What?
line, but that's the gist.
um, Why do bad things
Part
happen or
one.
something? And
Yeah,
then,
like that.
yeah, yeah,
It's
I
very
found it. I
profound.
wish it need not have happened in my time, said
Yeah, like
Frodo.
that.
So do I, Gandalf. And so do all who live to see such times. But that is not for them to decide.
Yeah.
All we have to decide is what to do with the time that is given to us. So I think
Yeah,
that's a
right.
nice way to answer that. Gandalf,
Thank
Lord
you.
of the Rings.
Thank you,
Thank you,
Gandalf.
Lord of the Rings.
Thank you, Gandalf.
Thank you, Gandalf.
Just watch Lord of the Rings, guys.
Yeah, yeah, I'm due for
Be
another
inspired in the
rewatch for
art
the
and
third.
in the quotes.
Yeah.
For the knowledge and all that.
Life quotes.
Hmm. I think this is. I think yeah, this is a good spot to really end
Yeah.
it for real because I mean end the
Yeah.
show. Yeah, damn. So yeah, we've been going on for over an hour, so I think it's a good spot to end on. Right. Oh, we didn't see that message. Just deleted after.
Yeah, I saw it, but
So
yeah.
oh,
I feel you, bro.
that's for you guys. Yeah, we're here, man. It's hard not to feel that way, but we can do with what we can with the time given to us, like what Gandalf said. So, and our time is running out. So, this is a good time to.
There's still
I just
money in
said time
art.
like six times. So, yeah, I think we should end it right here.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, guys. So, well, keep a lookout for the next episode. Yeah, thank you for enjoying our therapy session. First, it was
Yeah, and if
financial
you're
talk.
in
Now it's
YouTube and
therapy.
you want us to keep on yapping and yapping on
Yeah,
some
if you
certain
love
topics
this.
that we've mentioned here or we've touched on this episode, yeah, comment down below and maybe join our Discord server, join the
And
community, help us
subscribe.
bring out more artists, subscribe, and maybe your topic will be chosen on the next video as well.
Yeah.
If you want to subscribe, become a subscriber, check the link in the description and you'll be in our website for the humble price of only $5.
Yahoo.
That's right, for $5 a month. Right. That's one Starbucks drink. All right, guys. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
joining us. See you next time.
Thank you so
Deuces.
much.
Boy, guys,
Bye bye.
let's
Can I
yap
help?
another day.